My Ideology of Education by Chloe Hill. Matheson 2008 explains that an educational ideology is any package of education ideas held by a group of people about formal arrangements for education. Before this module, my ideology of education was considered not as comprehensive as others. However, after studying contemporary thinkers like Michael Gove, Ken Robinson, Rudolf Steiner, and alternative approaches to education, I have created a package of ideas that I would hopefully practice in my own classroom one day. Creativity is the first part of my ideology. I believe that creativity is essential in the classroom and some aspect of it should be found in every lesson. Robinson 2006 states that there isn't an education system on the planet that teaches dance every day to children the way we teach them maths. For A-levels, I took mathematics, further mathematics and performance studies, and I got concerned looks from adults because they believed performance studies was lower on the hierarchy of subjects. However, in performance studies, I didn't just get taught how to act and dance. I learned the political timeline from 1914 to present day, and how music and theatre and dance had an impact on it. My final exam lasted for 2 hours, and I had to write an essay on a question given to me that day. What I'm trying to say is, I found performance studies very challenging, and I strongly believe in what Robinson was stating in his talk. Many people see subjects in a hierarchy, when in actual fact, in the subjects you may think will be easy have many complex modules. I would like to practice in my classroom that there are no hierarchy when it comes to selecting subjects, as art subjects are just as important. National Advisory Committee on Creative and Cultural Education 1999 explains that when an educator is evaluating which ideas do work and which do not, it is seen as creative thinking as it requires judgment and criticism. If the teachers are creatively thinking of different ways they can teach their lesson, it can be more interesting for the children. I'd like to successfully practice this approach in my own classroom one day, as I would hope every child would be able to enjoy my lessons through various interactive activities. Montessori Schools Association 2008 states the environment plays a key role in supporting and extending children's development and learning. Her belief that the environment was an immense stimulator for children stuck with me because there were so many different ways it can be used to benefit the children. While role play isn't usually seen in Montessori schools, the environment can encourage the children to understand different roles within society. What else? Active learning allows the children to have experience with real objects whilst developing their practical skills. In my classroom, I would hope to be able to use the environment to help stimulate the children's learning through the ways Montessori does. When children are homeschooled, parents or tutors have the flexibility to teach the children wherever they want to and can approach education from all kinds of ways. From reading alternative approaches to education, a guide for parents and teachers, my ideas of how to practice creativity within the classroom have developed. Carney 2003 explained that through homeschooling, parents and teachers are able to use many local resources like museums, plays and galleries to enhance children's knowledge. Throughout my time in education, I rarely got taken out on trips to local places. The one experience I do remember was when we were studying castles and went to visit our local one. Being able to see the castle, stand in the rooms, touch the stones, I got to have a real feel of what a classroom looked like. With this, I had a visual idea of the castle and more knowledge to help me do better in my assignment. In my classroom, when I am a teacher, I seek to use my local resources as much as possible, pushing for local visits to museums to make the learning process for children more interesting. This part will have shown you the different ways key thinkers have contributed to my ideas of educational ideology and why I think they are important to be practiced at all times in my classroom. The idea that every child is unique is the main part of my educational ideology because I believe no child should be compared to another. Rudolf Steiner's approaches to education enormously conform to my educational idea that every child is unique because according to Nicol 2007, he believed that every child should have an individual education plan. I believe that no child should be working towards someone else's targets. Every child develops at their own pace and should therefore be targeted on accordance to their own development. Steiner also believed the needs of the whole child should be met. I strongly believe that it will be my job as a teacher to make sure all the children in the classroom feel comfortable and they can get the best education possible. I will put this into practice in my own classroom by making sure the children feel comfortable through my strict and fair persona. Montessori Society 2016 explains that children are given the freedom to develop according to their own unique timetable. I firmly believe that children should not have to hinder their learning for another person. My idea stems off Montessori's approach such that the children could learn what they wanted in that subject. Having their own freedom to decide what to learn, I believe that the children were more likely to enjoy their education rather than being bored in class. Oldfield 2001 states that a birthday is insufficient evidence of readiness for which a pupil will move classes. The UK's education system does not allow this, and children have to start school in the year they turn 5. The Education Act 1996 explains that parents are responsible for the education of their children either by regular attendance at school or otherwise for when they turn 5. However, the Finnish National Board of Education 2016 explains that children are not placed into education until the age of 7. This links to my idea that every child is unique for many reasons, for that in Finland, children have longer to develop as a child before being placed in education. Oldfield 2001 links with Finland's style because this shows that other countries do not have the same beliefs and systems, that children are ready to at the age of 5, and there should be more flexibility if they are not ready to move up. The idea that every child is unique is something I strongly believe in. I consider meeting every child's needs in the classroom as it is part of the teacher's job role. I believe the classroom is the first environment children are placed in where they are forced to mix with other children from different backgrounds. This situation can be used to help educate the children on the right and wrongs of interacting with others, ready for when they are adults. The classroom environment can teach children how everyone has their own ideas. Everyone should listen to each other, and we are all different. Through this, the children can acquire the skills of discussing ideas and interacting to use when they are in a job with other adults and socialising within society. In my own classroom, I would practice this approach because these skills are fundamental for children to succeed in the world. I believe social skills are key to being successful in society. With this, the children in the classroom will have been taught how to mix with diverse social groups by taking part in group projects and sitting with different children in class. Not only do I believe the classroom should provide the tools to make the children socially prepared, but also the need to do well and gain grade qualifications. I believe it is important that the pupils are entered for examinations leading to nationally recognised qualifications. Many companies rely on what qualification an interviewee might have to depend on whether they get the job or not. In my classroom, I would practice the importance of trying their absolute best in exams so the child can do whatever they desire. While this might seem a harsh ideology, it is clear that you need to get certain grades to get into university or to do a diploma at college. However, there is a limit on how far I agree with the importance of testing. The education system today is focused on the direction of travel, on the curriculum and qualifications. The need for every student to get the best grades in the classroom is seen across the system. My educational ideology is on the basis that every child is unique, but as a teacher, I should prepare each individual to take their place in society. This isn't by making sure everyone gets an A star in Maths GCSE. Often children can find it hard to fit in, and as a teacher, it will be my job to make sure they feel included in the classroom. Through some helping, they will be able to interact with other children and be part of group discussions. The children's confidence can grow and be ready to be a confident adult in society. In conclusion, I can sum my educational ideology up very shortly: creativity, uniqueness, and socialisation. Within these 3 parts, my educational ideology becomes more complex. Looking at my finished educational ideology, the role of an educator is the most important contributor to make sure my ideology is successful in my own classroom. For my educational ideology to be effective, I will have to be very dedicated. However, the outcome will be very rewarding as the pupils will finish school as an adult, ready to take on today's society. The ideas I have looked upon are what I hope to successfully practice in my own classroom one day. I hope to make every child's experience in my classroom enjoyable and worthy, and I believe my ideas will be able to do that.